Hi, I'm Paul Stringfellow here for Gestalt IT, and I've recently had the opportunity to take a look at the world of application modernization. Unfortunately, today I've managed to grab some time with Sidney Rasbatt. Hi, Sidney, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Nice to
Great.
meet you.
Well, yeah, you too. And I kind of wanted to take this opportunity just to understand a little bit more about the application modernization space. So maybe as a start, can we talk about why this is kind of an important space and why are organizations looking at application modernization?
Yeah, it's huge. Organizations are really trying to please their customers and be more competitive and deliver the value that folks expect, right? They want to make sure that their solutions and products are competitive, and the consumer and the customer's expectations are only growing. They want fast applications. They want ubiquitously accessible applications, and in order to do that, organizations really need to focus on upping their game when it comes to modernizing their applications. They need to be able to deliver mobile apps. They need to be able to deliver web performance that's blazing fast. They need to be able to operate at the speed that their customers require them to, and as a result, they need to invest in their applications and their infrastructure in order to make sure that their customers get the experience they need.
So why is this difficult with kind of traditional enterprise applications? And so certainly when I was looking at kind of what you guys did, it was an interesting kind of an interesting move. And what's the problem with those kind of big monolithic applications when you're trying to do the kind of development you're talking about?
Sure. So look, I mean, organizations rely on those monolithic applications. So I wouldn't call it trouble so much as, it's the stability, the safety, the reliability is what they've oftentimes built their businesses on. And so as the speed of business changes, they need to make sure that the speed at which they can actually evolve that application also changes to keep pace. And so, a lot of traditional architectures won't allow that, whether it's the governance related to, how you actually present access or provide access to that application or limit potentially access to the application, or just literally the way that the application is architected. Folks are looking to adopt new technologies, new ways of working, and new ecosystem of solutions to support the types of things they want to do going forward. It's be able to develop new capabilities faster, release them faster, and ensure the performance of their application is better over time. And so the trouble with the monolith in that regard is that it typically is going to be able to evolve slower. It's not as amenable to being distributed as much as folks might desire. And so when you want that agility, when you want that speed, you need to look at breaking that monolith apart and oftentimes leveraging other capabilities, whether internal or external. And so as folks are looking to modernize their monoliths, they're looking at new architectures, new tools, and new ways of working to be able to deliver again on what their customers need.
Yeah, and that's one of the things is kind of I looked into what you do as an organization and this kind of application modernization idea. That was one of the things that really struck me. Those big monolithic applications are very, very difficult to transform in the way that many organizations want to be able to do today because it's just too complicated. There's too many moving parts. Is that a big driver for why organizations are doing this? The ability to kind of abstract lots of those capabilities from each other so that they can develop them independently, develop them at scale?
Yeah, absolutely. Folks want to be able to develop independently, be able to run various services independently. As you can imagine, with an application, there's parts of it that might need to scale up due to demand that might not need to impact other services that are running within that application. And so organizations get a lot more flexibility in how they can scale their infrastructure and scale their application, as well as how quickly they can develop and evolve certain parts of that application so they can deliver new and better services without having to reversion the entire application. So this the flexibility, it's the speed, it's the ability to scale an application more effectively and efficiently maybe. That's really helping folks, as they think about, what these new application architectures have to offer.
So obviously you work for an organisation, NGINX, that some people may know, some people don't. And this idea of application modernisation is obviously is a process that any organisation can take, can develop with their own tools, can take their own approaches to it. So why? Because one of the things that really interested me when I took time to look at what you guys did and had that opportunity to learn more about this kind of approach, I thought it was really interesting that the approach you take is this one that's based around platform. So what's valuable around the NGINX approach? Why are people coming to an organization like yours to help to do this and deliver this kind of modernization?
Yeah, it's really interesting. As I started with this organization over 3 years ago now, um, I realized that whether people were dealing with monolithic applications, microservices applications, or anything in between, NGINX was the common denominator there. We were involved every step of the way. And so what became obvious to us was that folks rely on NGINX as part of the infrastructure for easily half the applications that run in the world at this point. And so, when we think about the different types of architectures that we need to be able to support, the different capabilities that folks expect from our solutions, it became clear to us that a platform approach that allowed folks to be able to have a single unified solution that exposed the right personality or the right view to the right person was a good play. We saw folks wanting to do load balancing, wanting to do API management, wanting to look at security and service mesh and all these capabilities that NGINX was part of a major part of the infrastructure around. And so the platform that we've built has allowed folks to get the value that they want around any of those areas and even other areas, but also do it in a way that's very self-service focused and very agile. So it plugs in to your existing ecosystem and it gives you the ability to have the perspective on our technology that gives you what you need, whether it's modernizing your application, whether it's building a microservice application, whether it's running services in Kubernetes. We give folks that flexibility through our platform that runs anywhere, allows them to connect to anything that they care about, and that's really what we focus on, giving them that platform that's tightly integrated and very flexible.
Well, I think one of the other things that struck me as well around this kind of platform idea was the importance of simplicity, because it looks as you develop these applications, as you abstract different layers of it, which can scale independently, can be worked on independently, can grow independently. The ability for us poor human beings to kind of keep track of all of that. I think a platform that gives insight and can help manage security, manage APIs is hugely important. Was that another part of the thinking as well?
Absolutely. When you hit the nail on the head. Applications are getting more and more complex. They're getting more and more distributed. We are focused on giving them simplicity, giving them a single portable solution that gets them the flexibility to integrate this capability into the application that they need, but allows them to run it anywhere that they want to, leverage any technology stack that they want to, leverage any process that they want to, whether legacy process or modern with CI/CD and all that kind of good stuff. So that's been the goal here. It's really to allow folks to build their applications the way that they want to. We'll take care of the rest. We'll make sure it gets to where it needs to go.
Yeah, I think it's a hugely valuable point, isn't it? And so NGINX have kind of developed rapidly over the last few years. Obviously, you've had the kind of tie up now with F5. What can we expect to see next? Where is this kind of application modernization approach going? What kind of technology developments can we expect to see from you guys?
Well, I think if you pay attention to kind of how this conversation itself has evolved, we've talked about how applications are becoming more complex, how we need to make things simpler and simpler and allow them to work in ways that start to become much more intelligent. And I think we're starting to see an interesting confluence of technologies. There's the ubiquity that cloud enables. There's artificial intelligence technologies. There's machine learning technologies. There's increased bandwidth coming online. We're starting to see an interesting confluence of technologies that allows us to think about, things that were once hard now can become easy. So we can build the connective tissue between your application and make sure that it works as well as you want. We can start to overlay intelligence on that application to help you figure out how to make it work better, how to make it scale better, how to make it even more secure. We can automatically start to surface things that can be done to make your application better. And that's the area that I think, again, this new confluence of technologies is really going to enable. So I'm very excited to see essentially the quantum leap that we're going to be able to take forward as part of F5 now by delivering this set of capabilities into the modern app space.
Yeah, and I think, as you said, that idea that the speed of transformation that organizations are going to need is the kind of tooling that you guys can put together is going to be hugely valuable. I think lots of organizations are obviously already starting to see that value, and they're going to see more of it. So for me, I think it's a really interesting space. And Sidney, thanks for spending a little bit of time with me to kind of explore that, understand where this sits, the context for application modernization, and why organizations may want to go down that route, and how NGINX can help. So Sidney, thanks for your time. Really appreciate it. Really enjoyed the chat.
Okay, thank you.